Welcome to the Spotlight Roundup, presented to you by Psychedelic Spotlight, your number one source for news, information, and unique perspectives surrounding the emerging sector of medicinal psychedelics. I'm Autumn Trivett, and it's the week of April 12th, 2021. In this week's episode, we spotlight the launch of the first psychedelic peer support line. The state of Oregon forms its advisory board to oversee the implementation of psilocybin use in specialized clinics, and the American Journal of Psychiatry publishes new guidance on how to safely and effectively use ketamine and esketamine. Now, let's get to your roundup. April 14th marks the official launch of Fireside Project's Psychedelic Peer Support Line, the first of its kind for the growing community of psychedelics. The peer support line will offer free peer support by phone and text message to people in the midst of psychedelic experiences, people holding space for others who are in the midst of psychedelic experiences, and people integrating past psychedelic experiences. Here's what Fireside Project founder and director Joshua White had to say about the launch of their psychedelic peer support line.
The Psychedelic Peer Support Line launched today, April 14th, 2021. We think this is a historic day in the history of the psychedelic movement and the psychedelic renaissance. And that's because a person who is in the midst of a psychedelic experience, trip sitting for someone else having a psychedelic experience, or integrating a past psychedelic experience, they can reach out to us. And they can reach out to us by phone, by text message, and by live chat. And what they'll be connected with is a peer support volunteer who will provide free, confidential support to the person and just meet them wherever they are. That's what peer support is really about. It's about meeting people where they are, and it's about connecting with someone who gets it, someone who's been there before.
Last month, Oregon Governor Kate Brown announced the appointment of the first members of the Oregon Psilocybin Advisory Board, a body meant to oversee the implementation of psilocybin therapy clinics approved by voters last November through the passage of Measure 109. The formation of the advisory board marks the first major step in the gradual and systematic rollout to legalize and regulate the therapeutic use of psilocybin. The board will be tasked with using the best available science and data to create Oregon's regulatory framework for the supervised therapeutic use of psilocybin products designed to help treat qualified patients within the state suffering from debilitating conditions such as depression, PTSD, and addiction. Now, as more and more mental health clinics across North America continue to incorporate the use of ketamine and esketamine into their psychotherapeutic offerings, the American Journal of Psychiatry has published new guidelines for the safe and effective use of these substances for patients being treated for treatment-resistant depression. Both ketamine and esketamine are dissociative anesthetics. Ketamine has been used for more than 50 years as an anesthetic and pain reliever. Esketamine was approved by the FDA for treatment-resistant depression in March 2019 and for major depression and suicidality in August of 2020. The new guidance provides further precautions with esketamine as well as ketamine, starting with patient selection, where it is strongly recommended that patients seeking esketamine and ketamine-assisted therapy have a confirmed diagnosis of treatment-resistant depression and no psychosis or other mental or physical health condition that would significantly affect the risk-to-benefit ratio. In a recent visit to the Psychedelic Spotlight podcast, Dr. Stephen Mandel, a recognized expert in the medical use of ketamine, spoke about the importance of the safe and effective use of ketamine for mental health disorders.
Ketamine is a very potent drug, and it can harm as well as helping. It benefits from being deliberate and cautious and maintaining the dignity of a treatment. It's not fun and games. It's a way of dealing with a very, very serious problem. Depression is the leading cause of disability in the United States. Literally, it's much more than heart disease or accidents or cancer. Ketamine reverses suicidality very reliably.
And that's it for this week's Spotlight Roundup, presented to you by Psychedelic Spotlight, your number one source for news, information, and unique perspectives surrounding the emerging sector of medicinal psychedelics. For more on the stories covered here, visit psychedelicspotlight.com. And be sure to check out the Psychedelic Spotlight podcast, where Global Track Solutions CEO David Flores interviews luminaries across the field of psychedelics and related industries. Subscribe at Apple Podcasts or wherever you stream. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Autumn Tribbitt. Be well.